Come on over here. Come on over here. No, you flipped me off. Come on, coward. No, no, no. Come on. You're not an intellectual. You're a fake and a fraud.
What's going on, guys? Logan JYA Drykage here with another episode of the Drykage Reviews. We are looking at six different topping deck lists ranging from regionals to nationals to locals, and I'm going to give you guys my full honest opinion on all of these lists. So I hope you're ready for this. If you like this series, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you ain't already done so, and if you want to see some of the best Drytron content on YouTube, look no further, my friends. Without further ado, let's hop into our first list. Alright guys, our first list is from our friend Carl Nazareth, who made top 8 at the Montreal Regionals. That's right, we're going up to Canada. That's Triff's territory. And our man was playing, of course, the best deck Drytron. But what particular build? Looks like we're sporting some Amorphactor Pain action, just like Miles did at the YCS Hartford, where he ended up top 16. So, obviously, we've already got a good deck choice there. And this build is absolutely very similar to his in a lot of ways. But we'll point out some of the differences as well as kind of run through things real quickly. So, obviously, we've got standard ratio for names, 3-3-3-3, alright? So, that's what we've been doing recently, that being me on this channel and in my deck builds. And my most recent build that topped Philadelphia Regionals. So, you haven't already seen that profile. Be sure to slide over to the channel. You can click down below and you'll be able to check it out there. So, maxed out names, it's looking like the way to go. I definitely say it's the way to go right now. Triple Diviner, of course, because we're doing Amorphactor Pain combos in this build. We're not going to try and normal summon Vanity's Ruler, which means we're more than happy to commit our normal summon to the Diviner. Our Cyber Angel lineup is looking pretty straight. We are playing Ida 10 in this list, which is fair enough. It's another Natasha Steele, and sometimes you need that extension or to climb up through your link plays. Draconid's an Amorphactor Pain, makes sense, and the one Orange Light, of course, searchable, play around Nibiru, all that good stuff. Moving on to the spell lineup, we've got Fafnir, Triple Nova, Double Meteonis. I think Miles did the same thing, so meh, I'm not crazy about that. Only 2 Prep, not really vibing with that. Triple Cyber Emergency, and then Triple Tactics Talents. We're going to see this card popping up a lot today. I'm just going to warn you right now, and I got to let you know, I'm still not a big fan of Talents. I'd prefer to play a card like Dark Ruler no more, but I understand the reason why people are playing it. So, I mean, I'll throw out the respect there. We got Called by, Triple Droplets, 1 Terraforming. We're only playing 1 Fafnir, but he is siding the Mystic Mind, so I guess that's fair. But Frank, I'll talk about that more in a second. The 1 Harpies, and then the 1 Foolish Burial. Side deck, we got 1 Lancia, 1 Token Collector, Triple Twin, Red Reboot, Double Lava, Triple Anti-Spell, 2 Dark Rulers on the side, and then 2 Mystic Minds. So I'm not crazy about his side deck. We got like the weird 2-ofs of the Lava Golems, the Dark Rulers, and the Mystic Minds. And I will say this much, in his comment to me, he did mention how big and clutch Anti-Spell Fragrance was, stopping his opponent from really being able to break the board and guaranteeing the kill on follow-up. So that's totally fair, and I'm all for that. If you want to play a hard-going first card, I think that's a totally fair option. We're going to see some other options that people use later in the video. But again, those 2-ofs, not a big fan of those ratios. We'll talk about that more and go over the overall rating for this deck. But in the extra deck, we got Double Moy Beta, Downerd, Zeus, and Beatrice. We're missing Fuko. You guys already know my thoughts on that. You gotta be playing Fuko. You gotta be playing Fuko right now. So I'm gonna be counting that against every list I don't see playing Fuko. But maybe they just haven't caught on yet, so we'll see. 1 Link Karibo, 1 IP, Phoenix Unicorn, Apo, Entis Herald, Mirage Light Boral, and then Underworld Goddess. Frankly, I'd cut the Underworld Goddess for Fuko. Pretty easy choice. However, I do understand fearing Boral End. You're only out being droplets. That can mean that you're gonna die kind of fast. So I can understand it. I can understand it as a choice. Overall, this is looking like a really clean list. I think it's a good take on the Amorphactor Pain build. Again, heavily inspired by Miles' build, but there are some things like some technicalities, some niche choices, like those 2-ofs in the side deck. I think he could have easily maybe chosen to cut either the Mystic Minds or the Dark Rulers, and then made the others 3-ofs. I mean, I guess you want to see it sometimes, not all the time, but you know what, that's one thing that I count against it. Again, lacking the Fuko, and I'm not a big fan of the Talents, but overall still very strong. Definite 7 out of 10 list. Let's move on to the next. Alright guys, our next list comes from Mr. Clovis Tucker, a big active user on the Drytron Facebook group. And I apologize that the image may be a little blurry. Dueling Nexus screenshot, go figure. But this is a build that is cool, but is trying to do too much. And I'll talk about that as we kind of go through it. If we look at everything, name ratios are the same as the last build. But let's just really talk about the highlights here. So he did mention to me that he is doing a take on the Jordy lock combo. This is Jordy's most revised lock for the current format. But he also is tacking in the Amorphactor Pain on top of that. And I would go as far to say that that's excessive. He mentioned it being a backup plan, which is totally fair, but again, I think that you may be trying to do too much here. We got 44 cards in the main, which is fair, and it looks pretty consolidated, but the things that we're missing here, some of the more niche tech pieces, like the orange lights, or we're missing a preparation of rights. Obviously, there's no Pot of Prosperity in here. Now, I get it. If you're cutting down to 40, I can understand not playing Pot, but I think Pot's pretty important, personally. Outside of that, though, he's told me that this is a build that he takes to locals. He tops with and wins with from time to time. So all power, all respect to him for that. But again, the main deck, it looks like you're trying to do too much here. So I would say kind of pick your strat here, right? I'd say just cut the Amorphactor Pain. I can understand if there's budgetary constraints stopping you from getting to Pot of Prosperity because it's a heck of an expensive card. But that would be my feedback there. Also, get those Twin Twisters out the main. Like, maybe just main one if you're trying to deal with Mystic. You don't need to. You don't need to. Look at that. You're down to 42 cards. Your deck already got more consistent. Don't worry. You're welcome. You can send your check in the mail. Extra deck. Looking very similar to some of the other ones we were looking at. He mentioned explicitly that he cut the Abyss Dweller for the Tornado Dragon to enable the Scythe lock a little bit easier because we are doing Scythe things in this build. Again, like I said, it's a Jordy lock. And then we've got the Underworld Goddess in here as well. That's looking like a pretty big favored pick. You know, maybe we're going to have to start testing with that again. But outside of that, pretty standard in the extra deck. Again, no Fuko, so down vote from me for that. Side deck, we're doing 2-ofs again, guys. Like, geez Louise. However, I'll mention that for this case in the Lao Golem, I'm not going to... It's not too egregious, okay? Playing the Lancias in the side is an interesting choice. I personally have stopped doing that, but I get it. Like, if you're going second against Flunder and you're able to hard open it, that's pretty nice. Triple Raigeki is a cool choice as well, so we're doing no hard going first cards. You're probably applying the logic that my deck is strong enough to go first anyway, as is. So that's totally a respectable opinion to have. So Raigeki's a cool tech choice. Definitely got to give credit for that, too. The Harpies, the Dark Rulers, Evenlies, and Red Reboot, all good by me. I'm cool with that. The side deck looks relatively strong. The Raigeki's a cool tech choice. I personally do something a little bit more high impact in my opinion. Like, he's maining the Twins, so I get that much. So he doesn't have to use those slots of the extra, but that's just my opinion. Overall, again, though, I do have to kind of hold you back, because it does seem like your main deck is trying to do too much. And I know it really is only one card that's doing that, and you can make a very good counter-argument. It's like just one card. How many times are you actually going to brick on it? I just think it's more straightforward to be more consolidated in your strategy. So I'm going to give this one a nice, solid 6.5, maybe even a 7 out of 10. Still very strong, very cool with what it's trying to do, but I think it's trying to do a little too much. Let's move to the next one. All right, guys, for our next list, next 2 lists are actually going to be from the same gentleman named Baron Walter from Texas. This is his first place Fort Worth deck profile. Super consolidated package, very similar to what we played at Philly. Only differences are that he cut the Dark Rulers out of the main. And now I'm not saying that he, looked at my list. He obviously we played in the same event at the same time. It's a very standard Magikey build, right? That's what I was playing. That's what he's playing. We just all take our own certain directions with the ratios. And we've got some cool tech stuff in the side, so we'll talk about that. But overall, the main deck is super consolidated. It's strong. It's 40 cards. I don't think you can get more consistent than this. The one thing that took a hit is Delta got cut to 1, but going down to 40, I could totally understand it. And outside of that, it's looking good. I really can't identify the other cuts off the dome piece. It just looks very, very strong and very straightforward to me. So no objections there. Main deck looks good. Side deck, though. Side deck is cool. I like this. So I'm just going to, cut to the chase here. We're doing the triple Mystic Mine. I played that at Hartford. And I tell you what, Mystic Mine is a demon card, in the words of my boy Aditya. It makes sense to play it, so I can't even hold it against him for choosing to play that in the side. It can literally be an auto-win, because there's so many times where people will not bring in Spell and Trap removal or keep it in against Drytron, and that's when you get to punish them with the demon card Mystic Mine. Outside of that, we've got Triple Twin, Triple Evenly, Triple Nib, and Triple DD Crow. So interesting choice going for the hand traps. Me personally, I always go for blowouts. Seldom do I ever go for hand traps that can't be searched or set. in my current builds. But this is cool. I feel like you can definitely catch people off guard this way. Now, mind you, the only thing I would flag is that it's not as good to hit off of Prosperity or draw as a 6th card. So I do kind of count that against it a little bit. So for my personal playstyle, I go for Dark Ruler. But I like what you're trying to do. I think it's a cool surprise factor thing to go. If you see it, it's a real good thing. Extra deck, I love it. Black Rose Dragon. Big props there. You gotta be guys, look at me here. You gotta be playing Black Rose Dragon, especially in like a Magikey Vanity's Ruler build, dude. I cannot stress this enough. How many times that card has saved my butt, broken a board, caught somebody off guard. It is mwah. Chef's kiss. Beautiful choice. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I don't know if I'm rating the deck 10 out of 10, but I'm just saying that choice right there. Very good. Again, no Fuko though. We're doing Lairlisk Assembled Nightingale. Nah, man. Nah. Just change it to Fuko and you're straight. Linkuriboh in the extra. I'm going to mention this, that I personally probably would be doing Anima in this type of build. But I get it. He's also playing Nightmare Phoenix, which means you can go for that draw. So totally understandable. Fine. Sometimes you need that Link Arrow too. It's cool. It's a personal choice, right? I just like being able to punish people with Anima. And since I side deck Lava Golem, it makes a bit more sense for me. He's not side decking Lava Golem. So I guess it's another, fair point. And outside of that, everything else looks standard, but we got another person playing Underworld Goddess, and we're missing Apollousa in here, okay? So I'd say, if this was me, I'd maybe try and squeeze in that Apo. At least for me personally, Apo has been pretty applicable. But he's staying a bit more teched out for the going second side. Overall, with this list, so clean, so strong, very consistent. This is a solid 9 out of 10, bro. Definite 9 out of 10. Very, very strong build. Obviously, we've got our differences in tech choices, but, man, big respect. Let's hop on into Baron's next list, though. Guys, I gotta be straight with you. I do not know the combo for this list, but I'm gonna find out. And when I do, maybe we can even have Baron come onto the channel to talk about it. We've got a different type of Scythe Lock, and he mentioned in the comments that he's passing on Herald of the Arclight with Scythe Lock, Tag Out, into Barone lined up. And I have seen, with the Magikey Trap, off Alpha Zeta. That is really strong. That is really, really strong. So, just flagging that right now, that is cool. He got 3rd place with this at the Houston Regionals this weekend. I'm not a big fan of the Ash in the main, and we cut back the name ratios hard. Like, 3-3-2-1, that is low, in my opinion. I'd at least like to see the old golden ratio of 3-3-2-2. But hey, man, he's keeping it to 40. He's keeping it to 40. Big props, big respect. Moving on from there, double Diviner in the main, which is interesting, but I get it because it's searchable off your main combo line, so, but he's not committing his normal summon to anything else. I don't know, 50-50 on that one. And again, the Ash Blossom, not a big fan of main decking that personally. Only 2 prep, but again, he's really trying to keep that package tight and consolidated. Let's look in the side deck. Everything is the same, except he changed the nibs to Drolls. Probably being prepared for that mirror match, because obviously Drytron best deck, so you gotta be ready for that mirror match because you're gonna run into it. But there are certain variants of Branded that it hits. Flunder, it hits hard. Dragon Link, it hits hard. So, respectable choice, 100%. Extra deck is looking pretty much the same with the exception of some key stuff here. We got the TG, the Baron. Okay, it's not the same at all. What am I saying? The TG, the Baron, the Arclight, the Dagda, and the Hulk, and I'm assuming those are key pieces of his combo. Now, mind you, he had to cut the Downard because it's a very thick combo package, but I need to see what this combo does. All I gotta say is that Alpha Zeta leading to that particular board, if this functions the way he says it functions, bro, I gotta give this another 9, maybe even a 9.5 out of 10. Points for creativity, points for versatility, and just straight up ingenious deck building. So, big respect there. Big respect to Baron. Let's move on to our second to last list. Alright guys, second to last list. I'm going to keep it super duper brief for you guys. We're looking at 46 card build. This is Megalith Drytron, our friend Esteban Velasquez. I'm so sorry, dude. I apologize if I butchered your name. First place after Swiss, top 8 Columbia Nationals with this particular build. It's Megalith Drytron, and his end board, he mentioned explicitly, I have a little bit of difficulty telling what the end board is. I think he mentioned it being Fool, plus IP, plus Draco Nids, and then maybe Apollousa instead of IP. It's kind of like a teched out Link Climb toolbox type build, which is all fine by me. It looks cool. It's a great take on the Megalith build. And of course, we're trying out Fairy Tail Snow. He said with one extender, he can get it in Snow, assuming you're dumping it off Beatrice. I've personally never been a huge fan of Snow in Drytron because it's hard to fuel. You don't want to banish names, right? You can only banish your extra stuff. So I'm not the craziest fan of it, but I like what the deck is trying to accomplish. He is also playing the copy of the Ida 10 in the main for the extra extension and extra access to Beatrice. We got the Chaos Valkyrie, similar things to what Jordy is doing, gives you access to things like the Abyss Dweller, which you see in his extra deck. He is playing the Instant Fusion and the Millenniumized Restrict, cool anti-hand trap card. However, he's playing the Talents, which we know I'm not a huge fan of. Again, though, it makes sense to each his own. Side deck, we got some crazy stuff in the form of that Danko Sekka right there. Very cool against the back row decks. However, I have to flag, he's not playing any outs to the Mystic Mine. Literally zero. If we look at this right now, the only out that you could maybe argue for is evenly matched, but they just keep Mystic Mine. So I have to say that that's a bit of a down vote right there. You should be playing it out to Mystic Mine. He's got room for Anima and Linkuriboh in the extra. That's kind of crazy. I'd say definitely choose one of them and then put Fuko in there. Definitely just going to say that much right there. But outside of that, the extra deck looks solid. This is a very cool teched out combo type build, toolbox type build that takes advantage of the Megaliths. I'm giving it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Very cool, but some specific tech choices which I disagree with, and that major flaw of not being ready for the Mystic Mine. You gotta stay ready for these things, folks. Outside of that, bro, Esteban, great work. Let's finish up with our last deck for the Drykage review, baby. Alright, guys, our final list for today is my boy Matt Grooms. Unfortunately, came in 9th place at the Philly Regionals, the same event that we top-aided over this past weekend, and, man, I just feel for him. But it's a very similar build, Magikey Drytron. I'm not going to delve into anything too much here. The only things I'll point out are the notable things. Delta is at 1 in this build, okay? So, again, you know how I feel about that, not crazy about that. You're also doing triple gamma. You could easily have made it 2 and 2. I don't know. That's just me. Aside of that spell lineup, I know it's a little oriented weird in the screenshot, but he is playing triple Dark Ruler and triple Droplets. Big respect on that, big props on that. It looks like he did cut back his name ratios. He's also not main decking the Lancia to get the deck closer down to 40 cards. But outside of that, very similar to our build, all pretty respectable. Side deck, we're doing some interesting stuff, though. The Lightning Storms and the triple Token Collectors. I think Token Collector is a safe one-of choice to send off of your Beatrice, but I understand it, and Sword Soul is a tricky matchup, so I can respect it. But also you can play cards like Lava Golem, and you're fine. And then we're also playing D-Barrier to deal with the Despias. So that's cool. It's a cool, hard-going first card, but I think personally, playing Drytron, you want to play more of a blanket going first card, so obviously you're hitting Despia and you're hitting Sword Soul. What about those other matchups that it doesn't do anything against? You want more of a blanket card, like a Solemn Judgment and a Pointer of the Red Lotus, or obviously an anti-spell, Fragrance. Those are my favorite picks for hard-going first cards in the side deck, although personally I don't play any right now. And then we got the evenly matched, so that's cool. Again, not a big Lightning Storm fan, and I cut back those Token Collectors. Easily cut 1 and 1 of the Token Collectors for Necro Banshee and Zombie World, so you're ready for the Flunders. Extra deck looks straight with some interesting choices. Finally, somebody playing Fuko. Somebody got a good head on their shoulders there, man. Good choice right there. Good by you. And then extra deck looks pretty streamlined, pretty similar. Not doing Anima, is doing Linkuriboh, but is playing Lina, which I thought was interesting, alright, guys? So if you know what he's summoning off the Lina that doesn't conflict with the Drytron strategies, maybe it's for the mirror match, summon back the opponent's bedtime, give them a search. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you know what he's summoning with that Lina. I could just be tripping here. But that's it for this episode of the Drykage review. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button. We'll happily do more of them. If you've got a deck you'd love to submit, I'd love to see it. Hit me up on Facebook, on Discord, on YouTube, and on Twitch. I'm there all the time. But that's it for this video today. Logan JYA, sign off. Have a great day. I'll see you chumps later. Peace.